I was actually originally going to plan the script to exclusively glaze this game. However, much to my dismay, I woke up, I saw the trailers for 2.1 and the upcoming characters, and I'm not lying to you, I was filled with so much unbridled disappointment. Like, I'm not joking. Okay, the thing is, I'm extremely hyped. Okay, because Wuthering Waves is literally such a go-to game. It's so good. And as of recording now, obviously I've already played a bit of 2.1. It's like been fine. The Wuthering Waves Renacita update has essentially been unanimously praised for the immense improvements the game had cultivated. And honestly, I couldn't be more proud and elated for the Wuthering Waves team. This company and game definitely deserve all the milestones they received. Nevertheless, this game isn't without its flaws. While there are obtrusive issues within the story, especially at the start of the game's history in 1.0, and certain unsound mechanics that leave players unsatisfied that I could talk about, one of my bigger concerns and trifles with this game currently is the glaring lack of male characters in the roster. Now, okay, I'm not saying that Wuthering Waves is misandrist. That's obviously not true. However, what I am saying is, you know what? We'll get to that. I was joking with a friend that Wuthering Waves genuinely hates men, and she suggested counting how many male playable characters there are compared to the women. While we already knew Wuthering Waves was such a waifu and male gaze-driven game, we were still a little shocked to see just how little the men's impact was on the overall roster. So there are currently 31 confirmed playable characters, excluding Rover, since, you can choose a gender. This consists of 28 characters who are already playable, 2 releasing in 2.1, Phoebe and Brant, and the other 2 in the following update. Okay, this is a bit of a side note, but I forgot like 2 characters, and that's like this elf girl with the right, I don't know her name, and then Cartethia, I don't fucking know how to say her name, and I don't give a fuck. This doesn't change the narrative at all. It actually strengthens my point because now there's like 26 confirmed females to the still 8 males, which is worse, and I think that's like 76.5% female and then 23.5% male, which is crazy. This leaves us with 8 male characters and 24 female characters. Yeah, I know. Even if we lump in male Rover and Scar, he's gonna be playable, trust me. That's still only 10 male characters out of 24. 24! 8 to 24! I really feel like I don't have to explain why this is kind of a weird ratio. As well as that, 3 of those male characters are 4 stars, which only leaves 5 male 5 stars, only 3 of which are limited 5 stars. And one of them is unreleased. Well, at the time of recording this. Anyways. There's this massive assumption the devs for this and every other gacha game has that they'll suddenly lose millions if they even dare introduce a man into the game. It's not really that much of a ridiculous concern, since the general consensus, even in other games, is that the market for sexy women is vital for a game's success, especially if you want to attract a dedicated male player base. Speaking of sexy women, y'all should totally follow my Instagram. Now, this isn't inherently wrong. Like, I feel as if we're all observant enough in the gamerscape to grasp the concept of appealing to perverted men. However, their thought process isn't entirely right either. Even if the target audience is straight men, it's not like they're unable to like male characters. Some notable video game characters that are favorites among men are Dante Sparta from Devil May Cry, Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, Arthur Morgan from Red Dead Redemption, Kratos from God of War, Master Chief, Nathan Drake, Leon Kennedy, Sephiroth, Link, Sub-Zero, Joel, Mario, Sonic, James Sunderland. And those are only the ones at the top of my head, or written on the script. Y'all can also totally comment down below some of your favorite male characters as well. Like, I'd love to hear your thoughts. My point is, gacha games, and more specifically Wuthering Waves, have the formula completely wrong. Just because the player demographic is male-dominated or male-targeted doesn't mean the demand or the market for male characters is obsolete solely for straight women or gay men. Men love playing other male characters because they're literally epic. Men love epic things. It's literally Men Studies 101. Men, like any other group, like seeing themselves in various characters. It's literally why representation matters so much. Men want to see a cool, powerful, and strong character and be like, hell yeah. Even if men, specifically cisgendered or straight men, are frequently represented in the media, it doesn't negate the fact that the only reason they're being excluded is because they prioritize the objectification of the female characters and not making meaningful male ones. So in a way, this misandry is misogyny. that is a conversation for another day. It's not just because I'm a girly who wants more husbandos in the game, even though that's not entirely wrong, because... Yeah, have you seen Xiangli Yao? Have you seen Jiyan? Come on now, dude, don't play. Don't play. It's because equilibrium within the diversity of a roster is vital for the game's immersion and overall presentation. It's why Genshin fails at its own roster, especially in Natlan. Y'all, the Natlan strays, never stop them. Keep ripping that fucking region to shred, keep ripping that game to shred. I don't care. It deserves it. And so this includes presenting characters that are more or less the same in every aspect, with powers, where multiple characters are basically touching but better. There are also lackluster designs, the same Dom Mommy formula, and I know y'all hate to hear it, but this kid color, yes, no, I know it's a controversial topic. I'm not here to talk about the implications of ethnic diversity and representation in Genshin Impact and games overall, but I am using it as a point, because that game has well over 90 playable characters, only 4 of which are light-skinned brown. Bottom line is that when you keep churning out the same characters using the same boring formula, it starts becoming a prominent issue. In other words, you stale. The difference between Genshin and Wuthering Waves is that Wuthering Waves makes their characters insanely good. The designs and animations are just top tier. It's literally why people say this game is as close to a AAA game as possible for gacha games. But every time we get a new female character, it always follows this pattern. The obligatory love interest, the cute little girl, the stone cold but secretly affectionate woman, the woman whose libido is higher than Mount Everest, then more obligatory love interests. It starts becoming redundant. Brant literally being the only male character to release during the Renacita patch is... it's unfortunate to say the least. He's such a charismatic, handsome, and dramatic character that, to me, shatters the typical archetype of pirate characters. I think. I don't know. I actually don't know that many pirate characters. He's more like a performer, really. The sea is his stage, not a charted course as a means to find the glory of treasure, but the glory of being an ostracized fool. The glory of using his affinity for theatrics to expose the oppressive religious cult in Raguna. He's such a compelling character, and he's the only one to really catch my eye. As stated before, not because he's hot, but because he's, well, himself. Of course, they made him sexy to sell him, but because they don't prioritize the market of male characters, they gave his character much needed attention to his personality, his hopes, dreams, and what truly makes him compelling. When he was first announced, I was absolutely enamored with him. His design was not only creative, it hammers in the aforementioned theatrical disposition in adjacence to him being a pirate. He also has this rare aspect in male characters overall, not just in video games, like in pretty much every media possible. And it's the fact that he's in tune with his masculine and feminine energy. I feel like there's a lot of stigma when it comes to talking about femininity in men. It's not to say men are girly, but that men can display traits commonly associated with being more feminine. For example, Brant, as we've said, dramatic. He's very flamboyant as well. Not only that, but as you can tell, he's a proficient and extravagant fighter. He literally swings in to save Rover with a thespian declaration. He's also strong, dependable, protective, and a natural leader. He's unafraid to be himself and unafraid to show the duality and dichotomy within the dispositions of a man. It's probably my favorite thing about his character, and not only does it make him so much more attractive, but he's a good representation for men who play the game. He's symbolic of being unapologetically who you are, even if the oppressive society you're under expects you to conform to the status quo, which is ironic in and of itself, seeing as the consistent and redundant formula of constantly pushing out the same female characters in the name of fan service is conformity to the status quo. In summary, Wuthering Waves genuinely doesn't understand how beneficial it is for male characters to be introduced in the game. It's funny to me considering Wuthering Waves was praised for setting a precedent, raising the bar high for gacha games. Despite this, the fact that they're following the same path as all these other games by neglecting male characters is disappointing. This game was meant to be the exception to existing conditions and standards. However, they're following a trend they believe is crucial, when in reality, it isn't. So many players have expressed their frustrations with the lack of male characters. players. And the reality is, you can't please everybody. However, trying to please one group is just as detrimental. Games aim to appeal to a wide audience, or at least they should, while still maintaining a general scope of what to aim for. The assumption that players would suddenly drop the game because of a more diverse range of characters is really discrediting to your player base. Women in gaming shouldn't be objectified as a means to push your game's agenda, and men shouldn't be treated like a liability for existing. Thank you for watching. This is my first narrative and critique essay that I've actually finished. I feel as if I could have done much better, but this isn't meant to be a real formal video essay, but rather a scripted rant about a particular trifle I have with this game. Now the thing is, I love Wuthering Waves, and it has such immense potential. It's the only game I've ever voted for in a nominated Games Award. I believe in this game because the team behind it listens to the community and really hones in on taking feedback and applying them. I hope they listen to us as well. Like I said, thank you for watching. I've taken a pretty long hiatus from YouTube, but now that I'm back, please let me know if I should continue these types of videos. I want to be able to do whatever is most fun for me and whatever works well, so please let me know what you think. Okay, that's pretty much it. Get out. No, let's make a for real outro here. Okay. Just get out. Just get out.